everybody, it is Hunter and Calxiyn.
She said my name first this time. I'm so great.
Because you asked.
Yes, I did.
You big baby. Anyway, so we are doing a theory today, and it is a self-fulfilling prophecy theory about Salem. So somebody brought this up, and I actually kind of had, like, the idea as well. So basically what happened is that I was thinking about, like, we didn't really get an explanation for why Salem's dad just fucking locked her in the tower. And so I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about Wicked, and how they, like, took Wicked in the back and shot it, right? And so I was thinking about that, and then somebody said, Cal, like, do you think that maybe, like, the father of Salem, like, had some sort of fortune teller or something tell him that his daughter was gonna destroy the world and so kept her locked in the tower or whatever? And, like, the idea was if she met, like, a nice boy that could rescue her, she wouldn't be a destructive force in the world or whatever.
Evidently, Ozpin was not that nice boy
No. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So, when they said that, I remembered something from Wicked.
Oh, of course you did.
So... basically,
I never read the book Wicked. I remember you gave it to me once, but I was like, this looks big and the print is small and I don't wanna. I think I read the first sentence. It was like, she was on a broomstick above the city. Continue. So,
the Clock of the Time Dragon is something that's in...
Okay, I'm sorry. You can't just say the Clock of the Time Dragon and drop it out there where I'm just like, oh yeah, time dragons. And of course they also have clocks. I mean, like, what else would it have? An abacus? It's not a math dragon. Like, motherfucker, what?
In Wicked the Musical, the stage is framed by the big clock that is also a dragon. So it's basically this clock dragon thing, and it frames the outside of the stage, right? And basically the idea is that Galinda and the people of Oz, are looking into the clock dragon thing to see Elphaba's past life and, like, other things. And we're, as the audience, we're looking into the clock to see her past life. And so it's basically, like, a prophecy fortune-telling machine, and people go to it to, like, find shit out. And so if I recall correctly, I think in the books... or maybe in the Broadway show, but it doesn't really matter. So basically what happens is, I think the father, so Elphaba's father, goes to the Clock of the Time Dragon, finds out that she's gonna be, like, evil, basically, and decides to, you know, try to keep her away from the world, keep her locked up in the house and all of that stuff. So how this would apply here is that Elphaba's, or Salem's father, would sort of fit into that role. He would go to some magical person when people still had magic, and he would be like, hey, like, read me my fortune, and then they would be like, hey, your daughter's gonna destroy us all, and he'd be like, oopsie, how can I fix that? And then the fortune teller would be something like, first of all, you gotta lock that shit up, and then maybe if she meets a nice man, then she'll, you know, not be destructive, which would be true, because Ozma didn't make her destructive anymore. Like, it was only because Ozma died.
I feel like that would make for an interesting story, totally unrelated. Like, a woman is freed by, like, their knight or whatever from her castle, and it's like, I'm gonna go and get revenge. And as they move across the continent to go get revenge on the father, like, oh no, they start fucking shit up and bad things start happening. And right when she's about, or like, the knight is about to kill the father, he's just like, I did it because it was a prophecy that if she was released, she would bring darkness into the world. And I could not bring myself to kill her, so I thought I would do the humane thing. I thought I would keep her in comfort in a castle for her day. Like, can you blame me? And then the guy's just like, I'm gonna have to die with it, and kills the old man, and then it's implied that, like, the woman goes on and do terrible things. I think that would be a totally unrelated but pretty cool story.
Because, like, if you think about it, right, locking her in the tower would have destroyed her mental state and made her clingy. And if Ozma's the first person that ever loved her and fell in love with her, like, him dying would be a big deal. And so if she was exposed to the world, exposed to death, like, she was sheltered, so if she was exposed to death, you know, she would know it's a natural part of life, be able to cope. She would never go to the gods and ask about it in the first place. That's why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
She was locked away by her father, so she probably hates having, like, powerful men talk down to her.
And some, like, daddy issues,
be paternalistic. So when you see the God of Light being like, I'm sorry, but this is me being paternalistic, you can't do that. She'd be like, you're just like my dad!
Or even like, that's the only man in her life that loved her was Ozma.
Maybe.
Right?
But that's my guess, is that, like, a lot of this, a considerable amount of this comes from daddy issues.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking,
This is Hunter's lesson for you to take away. If your baby is the Antichrist, don't lock him away, kill him on the spot. Continue.
Anyway, so my point is, right, is that that's why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because locking her in the tower to protect her from becoming this destructive force only made her the destructive force in the first place because it ruined her mental state. And so when Ozma dies, right, like if she had never been locked in the tower, if she had just went around and went outside and whatever, she would have seen death and experienced death, and she would have come out a better person, I think, right? So locking her in the tower caused a problem, so basically my idea is that Salem's father, right, went to maybe something similar to the Clock of the Time Dragon, or whatever the fuck it is in Wicked, and he went there, he saw, like, hey, like, your daughter's gonna fucking destroy the world, keep her locked up, please, right, you know what I mean? And he does that, but then it comes around full circle. In the end, it only makes it worse, because if she was never locked in the tower, maybe she would have never even met Ozma. She would have just lived her life like a normal-ass person. And
not brought about the apocalypse.
No.
That's why you need to be a good father and kill your cursed child.
Oh, dear. No, but you could have just not locked her up in the tower!
This is my parenting book!
Up in the tower,
you don't lock them up in the tower, you kill them in the cradle.
No, but you didn't even have to kill her, though. Well, all you had to do is lock her up in the tower. Or not lock her up in the tower.
I often make this joke when I'm around you, Cal, that I'm just like, future generations will curse me for not killing you as a teenager before you can become the dictator of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a legit. That could be a legit thing with Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did you?
Because we don't really know why her father locked her in the tower.
I mean, come on. This is probably before penicillin.
It's kind of like Shrek, if you think about it. Like, Fiona turns into a monster at night,
I guess,
and so nobody loves her, but then, like...
Everybody thinks she's based off of the Wicked Witch of the West. Nah, she based off of Fiona.
No. I'm just saying that situation.
And then I saw her face, and I'm a believer.
But I'm just saying, I think the self-fulfilling prophecy idea makes sense. I just think it makes sense.
The scene where Ozma and Salem meet again outside her house now needs to have, and that I saw her face, I'm a believer.
Stop it. Anyway.
Am I ruining your very serious
video?
Yes,
you're ruining my very serious video, Hunter. So that's what I think it was. I definitely think there was some fortune-telling shit involved somewhere, and they were like, hey, why don't you lock up your daughter so she doesn't murder us? And he was just like, okay, and then he did it. Okay, and then he did it.
John Mulaney
and that made it, like, even worse, basically.
Probably.
And so that's why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Which I probably said like 8 times already.
Because we've yet to, presumably, the
and remember,
genie is a neutral arbiter.
Cinder says, do you believe in destiny? To Pyrrha. And so if there's
Pyrrha says,
the other way around, sorry. Pyrrha says, do you believe in destiny?
Listen, a lot of people would rather have Pyrrha shoot Cinder in the heart with an arrow, but that didn't happen.
But Cinder says yes. So why does she believe in destiny?
Maybe she thinks she's destined, or maybe she thought Salem was destined to fuck shit up.
Yeah, maybe it's because she already knows that Salem in the past was destined, like, that there's some sort of destiny or fate in the world that you can, like, find out. But Jinn says that she can't tell people about future events. So then it's like, is that just a stipulation, or are the gods not
because it would be a paradox.
In the future?
Because if you told her an event, would you tell them the event that would happen had they never been told about the event? Which in that case, that information becomes invalid because you would know about it, so you would avoid it. Or would you tell them the future?
Why is that any different than a fortune teller, though? Like, from the clock being like, hey, Salem's gonna destroy the world.
On this current timeline, yes, but then with that knowledge, you avoid it.
You could have, but they didn't because it was self-fulfilling prophecy.
Evidently, or it could be like a Judgment, a Terminator 3 thing where it's just like, yeah, I know we killed all the robots.
So basically what you're saying is with Jinn, people would try to go against the answer and that would mess it up.
Well, my point is that you wouldn't really learn about your future because you would try to avoid it. Unless her argument is your future cannot be avoided even if you try.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, even if you try to move it, which you would see in Salem's case, even if you try to avoid it, you will only swing back harder.
Yeah. Except for, I think if they didn't lock her in the tower, it would have been fine. But I'm saying that in this
Remember,
case...
smother your children.
Oh, God. I'm saying that in this case, locking her up in the tower... is what made the prophecy fulfilling. Yeah. Because the clock predicted that in response to the information, the father would do that, which means it would happen.
Yes. Doesn't the
idea?
Oh my god,
I just hurt my brain.
Okay, I got two things. Okay. One, the idea that destiny is immutable and we are not powerful to change the outcomes of our lives is terrifying to me. It just is.
That means if you're supposed to be destined for someone, that means it'll happen even if.
Well, listen. Here's the thing. You're a helpless romantic. I am a terrified gerbil. Oh, yeah. So when I see that, I'm just like, oh, so it means, like, is it freeing that it's like, no matter what I do, it's always going to be fucked in the beginning? Like, because that could be kind of freeing. Or, like, but then it's also terrifying because, like, even if good things happen to me or bad things happen to me, I had no control over either of them. And number two, you don't have to just smother your children. You could, like, just throw them in the back and like, the trunk of your car and just do, like, vicious circles.
Not very nice.
You can, like, burlap sack, river, just whatever you need. Just, my god, if it's cursed, don't put him in the tower.
I'm guessing they killed off Salem's mom because in Wicked, the mom dies.
The mom always dies.
So, that's my guess.
You are watching Full Metal Alchemist. Spoiler.
Spoiler for episode 2.
Yeah, of a famous
anime. A 64-episode anime.
That came out...
The mom died.
The first one probably came out over a decade ago, so,
2013.
Yeah, but the first Full
For
Metal
this
Alchemist.
one, I'm saying.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
That was already spoiled.
Anyway.
It's
time to go. So, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Wicked is not dead, even though they took Wicked in the back and shot it for everything else. For this, it may still be alive. You can also take your baby
in the back.
Hunter, no! Okay, I'm gonna go give Hunter a timeout. We'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you to our wonderful patrons over on Patreon for supporting the channel. Patrons get a bunch of different cool rewards ranging from access to VIP chats or getting video tickets, which can basically be used to request us to do videos, for example. We can advance early access or access to our Discord server. All of those are rewards that our patrons can get, and it's pretty cool. I do recommend it if you guys want to support the channel. We have so much fun talking on our Discord server about whatever it may be, whether that's RWBY or Kingdom Hearts or Miraculous Ladybug, right? And the early access helps you guys obviously get to see our videos before anybody else does, and so that's also pretty cool. The VIP chat is pretty exclusive. I can reply like a bit faster there. It's a bit more one-on-one. So if you guys are interested in any of those, I do suggest that you guys become patrons over on Patreon. The link is in the description, and thank you again for all of our patrons for helping us out. We'll see you guys later. Bye.